Hi, my name is Arianna, and I'm a sophomore at Bonanza High School. When I was 16 years old, I got kicked out of my mom's apartment. Me and her were not getting along, so I had nowhere to go. When I initially got kicked out, I was quite angry. So therefore, I was in Klamath at the time, and I had to walk to my father's and say that I wasn't going to stay at his house nor mom's house because of previous issues. I met Chris Hankins when her dog had appeared at the school, and I recognized it from a yard. So I took it back to her house and offered to walk it once a week. So I took the school bus the next morning to get to Bonanza and ended up at her doorstep by lunchtime. And she welcomed me in her home with open arms. I asked her if I could work and trade for board and food. Chris said, give me a couple days to think about it. And then she looked at the counter and looked back at me and she said, actually, your room's right there. Chris said that she had prayed for a helping hand because she was getting too old to do everything herself. And so I was an answer to prayer. So I got invited to Campus Life, the DeYoung's house, by Nevaeh Preston. And I said, you know what? It sounds like a group of a bunch of rebel teenagers. Let's do it. When I stepped out of the car, I was definitely hesitant at first. Didn't recognize most of the faces. Most of the kids were homeschooled. And then Nevaeh was just like, come on, you got this, you know? So I went up to some of the students and I remember they were singing Heart Like a Truck, I believe. And it was just, the energy was great. So coming to youth group on a regular basis, I was like, Grandma, no way, no. And then I figured out that the walking time in between was a break for me. And by the time I got there, the energy was amazing. Like, everyone was so happy to see me, and I enjoyed showing up. So singing really impacts me. Music has been a big part of my life. It's been something that I use to get over whatever I'm dealing with. And when I first heard some of the Christian songs, I was like, maybe not. And then I was like, you know what, this is actually kind of groovy, you know, I can get used to this. And I just fell in love right there with the whole group. So at the Running Y, we first got there and I was like, I thought you said this was a motel, this was like paradise. But some of the groups got mixed up this time and I fell in love so hard with all of my group. Like, we stayed up playing board games, not much video games, TV was a must. And then we went swimming back to back, like from the point where we went to the swimming pool, came back, and then to the swimming pool again. I'm like, guys, why did we do that? And they're just like, I don't know, something to do. And so like, that was fun for me, definitely. Our in-between downtimes where we were just gonna pick up the Bible in like small groups of 3s, I really enjoyed because it helped me better understand what the gospel was and what Jesus was trying to tell me. And I believe her name is Julie DeYoung, really helped me better understand of how to look at my scriptures and get into a dive of my Bible. So we had this, like, I don't know what you would call it. It wasn't quite a yurt. It was like this big building where we had our full group meet up and we were going to pray, anywhere from praying to reading our Bibles to listening to Kelly or Pat speak to listening to music. And one day we had this like mixed emotion type of feeling, and then everyone started crying after one of the presentations was done. And I went into a corner and I was like, Kelly, can I please figure out, like, I don't know how to do it, but can I figure out how to give my life to God? And he was like, of course. And he helped me right there. Well, there was this night right after the Chico trip and we were sitting in our huge circle like we usually do. And Kelly said, does anyone want to pray for us? And I raised my hand really quick and go, I do. And then I was like, oh wait, I don't know how to pray in public places. And then I forget her name now, but she leaned over to me and she goes, it's just like talking to God, all you got to do is start that conversation. So we all bowed our heads and I prayed publicly for the first time. Later on, when I started coming and I started coming for multiple months, I figured out that God was showing me what family was supposed to be like, and that I finally had a family to call my own within the youth group, and it was just great. So I enjoy writing poems, and I wrote a poem to the Hess family stating that I was joyful and that I was grateful for all of them. Part by part and piece by piece, we all fall apart one time or another. But as Kelly helped me recognize, we are humans with sinning nature and loving hearts. We have more than just ourselves to rely on. We have each other, our second family, our lifetime friends. To make lifetime memories with, and I thank God for leading me to some of the most special, kind, gentle-hearted people to get me out of the hole in my life, because I couldn't see around me when I needed to see. They were all around me, dedicated to Kelly, Hess, and Janae and the family. I wanted to thank you guys for these past few months and your wife and kids.